and welcome back to another YouTube video and Happy New Year. Although when you're watching this it's actually going to be the end of January, so I really hope that you've all had an amazing start to the year. It's January the 1st today and I wanted to share a little challenge with you that I'm doing this month in the hope that I'm going to record my process as it goes, which will hopefully be really good. So, as you can see from the title, I'm giving up dairy for the whole month. Well, possibly even longer, depending on the results that I get from doing it. So, giving up dairy is something that I've massively researched over the last 2 months. I've literally gone, it's so in depth, I've gone into pages and pages of Google and looking at how kind of dairy affects us. I have 2 main reasons that I've chosen to give up dairy, because I know there's a lot of studies that say you shouldn't be giving up things if you haven't kind of got a medical reason, but vegan as itself is a lifestyle which has massively grown over the last couple of years, and you know, if people want to cut certain things out of their diet, that's fine. It's just learning how to replace those vital nutrients and minerals, etc. that you would be missing. My first reason is my asthma. There's a lot of links and studies between asthma and dairy. So dairy basically creates excess mucus, which causes phlegm, and it also leads to congestion. And that is definitely true, because I gave it up last January for about 3 weeks, only semi, and I had no phlegm in the mornings. Sorry for too much information here, but this is what asthma actually represents on a daily basis. So I had no phlegm, I had so much energy, and I didn't really have to take my reliever inhaler at all. And towards the end of last year, my asthma was really bad. I was getting a lot of chest pain, tightness, I was taking my blue inhaler a lot. And I've gone back to the old thing of having phlegm every single morning, and it just sits on my chest in the night. So my asthma is really not in control at the moment, and I'm still taking my steroid inhaler every day, so there has to be a reason as to why it's still bad. So that is my #1 reason why I'm giving up dairy. I think it's really going to help, and not just from an asthma point of view, but a total health thing as well. When I stop eating dairy, my sugar intake's probably here at the moment, and it's suddenly going to go all the way down here, because for me dairy isn't so much the milk, because I already drink almond milk, so that's not going to be a shock. It's the chocolate, biscuits and everything else that dairy is hidden in. I'm going to be switching everything up this time. I'm going to be giving up eggs, which is like one of the main protein sources I get. I'm even going to be stopping my protein shake, because I didn't even realise that had milk in it, as well as lots of other sugars. So I'm really confident it is going to help my health and my stomach as well, because I've mentioned it briefly before. Sugar and high fats really make me ill, because I've had pancreatitis before, and I've had, especially with Domino's, there's been a lot of occasions this year when I've been sick after eating it, or I've been really ill the next day, and obviously that's the cheese and the grease content in it. So there isn't anything about giving up dairy that's going to be bad for me necessarily, and 1 month isn't going to kill me doing it basically. The other main reason is acne. So this is kind of a little bit of a not so confirmed link, but there are a lot of studies, and there's been so many YouTube videos that I've watched with people that had terrible acne. They were using all sorts of topical ointments and creams, and nothing was improving it. They'd been to dermatologists, they'd been put on different pills, Roaccutane and all sorts of stuff. And really, if you think about it, all these different ointments and creams you put on our skin, isn't it just masking it or trying to help it? Like, what is actually causing it? And when you break it down, anything that comes out into your skin is always coming from what's going on internally. Like, for example, years and years ago, I used to get terrible spots on my forehead, and they would always appear after I'd been drinking alcohol, because I obviously was rejecting it all the time, and I was very ill anyway. That was the way that my body detoxed it. So kind of over maybe since January last year, I've always kind of had a bit of acne on my jawline, and it's only been since the summer that it suddenly got really bad. I only have it on this side, which you can probably see, and I will actually share some pictures on the screen with you. And yeah, nothing helps it. It's itchy, it kind of flares up then goes down. It's not really spots as such, but it's definitely a form of acne. And yeah, I'm at my wit's end with it really. And not just that, my all around here has broken out massively over the last, definitely over the Christmas period, because I've been eating chocolate, cheese, all sorts of crap like that basically. And obviously in skin mapping, this is to do with hormones and diet. And looking into dairy in a little bit more detail, I didn't realise that the baby cows are injected with a hormone. I can't remember the name as such, but I'll link below to the things that I read and the videos that I watched. So if you're injecting baby cow with hormones, there is still some hormones that go into the dairy products that we're eating, which if you've already got a lot of hormones in your system, that's only going to make the problem worse. So that could be one of the key reasons. And in terms of dairy as well, obviously dairy is linked to sugar, which is especially true for me because of the chocolate and biscuits that I eat, and all the other bits. And I think bringing the sugar content down with the dairy is really going to help. As well as that, I'm going to be drinking at least 2 litres of water every day, if not more. I have a really good exercise routine. I swim 4 times a week, and I'm not talking about doing breaststroke. I'm a long distance swimmer, so I'll do 2 miles each time that I go, and that's really good for my circulation and my skin. So I'm doing all these things, but my skin is so bad still, and all I can put it down to is diet. And yeah, it's just leaving me feeling a little bit shit about how I look. It's kind of been putting me off going out and meeting with people because of the lighting. Like me talking to you now, you could probably only see a few on my chin, but when you're in that harsh lighting, I feel like everyone is staring at it, and that in itself makes you feel like worse about it. I wanted to record this before I start tomorrow on the 2nd, because let's face it, New Year's resolutions do not start on the 1st. So yeah, I'm starting tomorrow. I'm going to film at regular intervals, maybe once a week, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to, even if I do see a difference, I'm not really sure like how long it stays in your system for, and obviously I'm prepared for that stage where my skin is going to really detox and purge, and I am worried about that, but it's going to be fine. In the long run, I think it is going to be so beneficial, not just for my skin, but for my overall health. Like, I really think it will, and I'm so positive about it. And at the end, I'm going to hopefully share my results and findings with you, whatever that may be, good or bad. As a disclaimer, everyone's skin is different, everyone's health is different, so what I'm doing might not necessarily help what you're doing, or it might not help me and it might help you. So yeah, I'll report back to you in a week, and wish me luck. Good morning. It is January the 8th, and I'm into my 8th day of dairy free, and what a week it has been. I can honestly say it's been a really strange week. It's felt like it's gone on for absolutely ever, and I'm just glad that I've got this far. In terms of results, I thought I initially had some, well, I initially started to feel a lot better. I had absolutely no stomach pain almost immediately when I stopped eating rubbish. My skin was obviously terrible on the 2nd of January, and all of the new spots that had come up have already dried up. But I now seem to be in this stage, which is the purge, which I expected, but it's still not nice, and it makes me feel really rubbish and ugly, and I just need something at the moment to keep me going because it is really difficult. I'm still positive that it is going to be a really good thing for me to do, and my asthma's no better yet, and yeah, I'm just feeling a bit like I'm actually not finding it as boring, in the sense of I am enjoying the food that I'm eating, but I'm still trying to find like other snacks, because I seem to be eating a lot of dates at the moment, and I don't know if it's good to eat a lot of that, and also a lot of nuts. And it is difficult finding something to fill me up after swimming when I'm not having a protein shake anymore, because I was obviously so easily reaching for that and thinking it was providing me with everything I needed. And yeah, I just think the 7-day mark is probably the most difficult, because you're too early in to notice anything, and you're at that point where it's make or break. Like, do I continue doing this, or do I just give up because I've just had enough and it's 7 days? Having said that, I really do think it's going to help in the long run. And I'm only 7 days in, and I've got to stay positive about it because I genuinely do think it's going to really help my skin. So yeah, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, this installment, and hopefully in the 7 more days I'll be feeling a little bit more positive again, and I'll have some more kind of active changes to show you. I can do this, I really can. So I will speak to you in 7 days. I am into day 19 now, and I thought that for this little catch up with you I would wear no makeup, and just to show you how I'm actually looking at the moment. And for me this is a massive thing because I hate being seen without makeup on, because I do look so different and my skin is not nice at the moment, and yeah, it's really difficult. And I'm finding it so incredibly easier now with my eating. I found lots of different things that I enjoy more. The thought of eating something like a bar of chocolate or a cheesecake, for example, literally feels like it's far too sweet for me. I'm not even missing it. Like, I made myself an apple crumble the other night with like apple, oats on top, some dates and some walnuts, and I was like, oh my god, this is so sweet. It's honestly the weirdest thing. Like, my taste buds have changed so much, because when you're used to eating so many sweet things and then all of a sudden you just cut it out, you're readjusting and actually appreciating the sweet taste that you can get from natural sugars. So that side of things has been really good, and the fact that time is going more quicker as it normally does now, and I'm not so hung up on what I'm going to be eating next and how hungry I am, which is great. Secondly, I feel amazing. I still have not had one stomach pain. I really cannot describe it, to be honest. I can't even remember ever feeling this well. I've got so much more energy, and it's literally been in the last 3 days that I've had no phlegm at all on my chest. Actually, I haven't even had any coughing for the last 3 days. I did have a bad bout with it last week, but I finally feel so much better in this sense as well, which is incredible. I haven't had to use my inhaler when I'm swimming. Absolutely life-changing so far. As for my skin, yeah, I'm still working on that, and I have been getting very disheartened about it, because after watching so many people's videos, a lot of people said that they saw a change after like 2 weeks, but after really looking into it more thoroughly, apparently spots can take 4 to 8 weeks to develop. So even though maybe you ate chocolate the night before and you wake up and you have a spot, it seems like you have literally developed that spot from that bar of chocolate, but really it takes a lot longer for it to develop underneath the skin. The other thing is I've been getting lots of spots in different places. Like, I've had one here, I've had loads in my nose, which I never ever get any there, and I did more research, and apparently it could be a detox reaction, which I'm really hoping it's that, because my diet has drastically changed and it's going to be a shock to my system. I'm also getting a lot of spots that are coming out that have been under the skin for a long time but haven't come out, which I think is a good thing, but it's absolute hell at the moment. Like, it's when you look back at pictures that you took 6 weeks ago and you thought it was bad then, and then you're like, no, my skin was actually good then. So I feel like my skin has not improved at all. It's definitely feeling smoother, and I definitely feel it glows a little bit more on my cheek. This is the only area that's good, but apart from that, no, not good. But it's literally time. I just have to wait. This is the hardest part at the moment, seeing no change, but I really am going to stick with it, and I've already decided, I think I mentioned last week, I'm going to do it for at least 2 months, because I really need to see if these changes are going to be beneficial. And the fact that I've had no stomach pain or any issues like that, why would I not continue? And the whole fact that I can, you know, eat a meal, I'm not feeling sick afterwards, I'm not actually sick, yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Nearly at 3-week mark, and I'm so excited. So hopefully, I don't think I'm going to speak to you now until week 4, and hopefully there'll be a lot more progress then with my skin. So I'll speak to you then. I can't even believe that I am filming this, but I've officially hit the 30-day mark, and I just can't believe it. So what a month it has been. I truly, like I said, I can't believe that I've finished it, I haven't caved, I've completely done it all by the book, and I could not be happier. So obviously this is the bit of the video you've all been waiting for. Has giving up dairy and processed sugar actually made a difference to my everyday life? I'm going to break it down into the biggest sections that I spoke about at the beginning of the video and whether it's helped, and then to go on to explain kind of the limitations that I've had as well, because it hasn't been an easy month. There's been a lot of things I've had to changing the way that I do things, how I go out and meet friends. So I'm gonna hit it off with my stomach, because the main reason that I did this diet was because of the pancreatitis that I had when I was 17, and I've never felt well since then. So I always knew sugar had a really big role in it. I've obviously got a heightened chance of developing diabetes when I'm older, and I knew that I couldn't process sugar because I had many flare-ups and bouts of sickness and all other sorts of stomach issues relating to it. However, I loved sugar, like I was addicted to it. So obviously the first 2 weeks of the cravings and thinking that time was going so slow were literally hell on earth for me. However, I have not had one stomach pain, one flare-up, no sickness, no other stomach issues for 30 days. Like, I'm sorry, what? I truly cannot believe that living life could feel this wonderful. I just thought, well, I have a stomach pain every day, like that's just, isn't that how everyone feels? Like they never feel on top of their game. And oh my god, has this experience just opened my eyes to everything, because I feel like life is so amazing for me now. I can go out with friends and not constantly say I need to sit down or I need to go home now and feel so exhausted. It's just life-changing. It really, really is. And I think I always knew deep down that sugar was the pivotal role in how I felt, but I was never committed enough to give it up, and just thought, what is the point? All those years I've searched for different answers as to what my problems could be. Is it stress? Is it this? Is it Crohn's disease? Is it IBS? And all of this time I had to look at my diet. And like I've mentioned in my blog post, which I will link below for you because I've written kind of a diary installment of each week with a little bit more feelings and emotions to what I actually went through. I touched on the fact that when you have pancreatitis, it scars your pancreas and you can never fully reverse that. So on the insides, I was just not good, and everything that I was feeding my body was aggravating it further and further. And yeah, my stomach, I mean, based on those findings after like the first 2 weeks, that was what kept me going, because I just feel amazing. And I've met up with some friends today and they've commented on how amazing I look, and it just, things like that is just what feels good, because I went through a patch in January where I didn't really go out and see anyone. I became very introverted for various reasons, which I'll explain. But yeah, so that is a thumbs up for me. And if you are going through similar stomach issues, I wouldn't say be as drastic as myself. I don't think the dairy has had a big impact on my stomach. It's definitely been the sugar aspect. But even if you just cut back your sugar intake, you should notice a difference. And sugar is in everything. Like, that's been the hardest part. A lot of people say like sugar-free recipes incorporate maple syrup and honey, but I completely cut out because I still think it is very sugary for you. So I've just been opting for very plain recipes, barely any desserts. I've kind of weaned myself off wanting a sweet treat in the evenings, and if I do want a sweet treat, I'll be getting it from natural sugars such as fruit, dates, or making my own apple crumble with a healthy topping which doesn't contain sugar. So yeah, I've just been relearning everything this month, and that has really helped. Gave up dairy primarily for asthma and skin, but asthma mostly because I'd read so much research into the fact that it can congest your airways and your nose and all sorts of lovely stuff like that. So I'd actually, as I mentioned in an earlier video on here, I gave it up semi last year, and that really helped. And I can say that it's really helped this time around as well. I probably wasn't until the 3rd week that I was having no congestion when I was waking up every morning, which was amazing because we're into winter now as well, which is when my asthma becomes a little bit worse. So that happened. I haven't taken my reliever inhaler for 2 weeks now, and if I do, it's when I'm exercising, so it's kind of expected, because I am meant to take it before and after anyway. And my performance in the pool has dramatically changed, in the sense that I'm not getting that I can't take my breath in, and I'm just feeling a little bit faster and stronger in myself, and obviously I've got no blocked nose every day, so that's really helped. And obviously sugar has not played a part in that, it is to do with dairy. So while next month I might incorporate a few little things like Greek yogurt for the protein aspect, I definitely won't be eating much dairy at all, because dairy is still in a lot of sugary stuff anyway, so probably going to steer clear from that. My last reason, well, main reason, was my skin, which is probably the biggest reason, because it affects the way that I look and how I feel about myself. So I'm just going to drop in. I've decided I'm not going to share after pictures with you. You've already seen what I looked like last time I filmed, but also my skin isn't in the best place yet, which I will come on to. But I'm just going to drop in a picture of what my skin looked like at the start of January. So from that picture you can see that I have whiteheads, but really angry whiteheads around my chin. So January has literally been hell for my skin. I've never experienced worse spots. I have had acne before, but these came up like nobody's business. Like, I know I was prepared for a purge, but I wasn't expected for how bad my skin would actually be during January. It seemed to be getting worse week upon week, up to the 3-week mark. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm not seeing results, I want to give up. Like, I want to at least enjoy my sugary food and have the spots. But no, every morning I had new zit formations and they were ugly. Every time I was washing my face, I was knocking them. I could not conceal them. And you're just aware they're there all the time, and it makes you feel so self-conscious. And I was just in a cycle with it, and it was making me really miserable. But I had to just visualize what my end goal was, which was clear skin, and I was still positive it was going to make a big difference. Obviously the massive amounts of research I did really helped, because a lot of people said that spots do take 4 to 6 weeks to develop based on what was happening that time ago. So I thought, right, I was eating really badly in December, January is going to be hell. And another thing that happened was, it wasn't necessarily new spots, it was stuff that's been under the surface of my skin for an extremely long time had just suddenly started coming out. And because of that, I was also getting spots in areas I never get spots before, like here, on my nose, on my cheeks, and yeah, it wasn't pretty. But I persisted. And it's literally been, today must be the 5th day, I have not woken up to any new spots, like none. I've got no angry whiteheads coming up anymore. What I'm left with is dry skin and under the skin spots that haven't quite come up yet. But the fact that it appears like I'm not chucking any more bad rubbish out is a really good sign, because I've always known that I detox through my skin. If I can't process sugars and fatty food, it comes out in my skin like it used to do with alcohol. So my gut instinct was right about it, and because of that I've got a little boost because I'm feeling better about my skin, and without a doubt I am continuing into February doing the exact same, because I feel like in a month's time I'm going to be in a completely different place again, and I'll hopefully be able to film another video for you with my updated skin journey, because I think this warrants a full video alone. In terms of my skin, it's been slow, but as my mum said, it's time. Time and consistency is the only thing that will help you lose weight, for your skin to improve and everything else. But I think it's really opened my eyes to the fact what I've been putting into my body is destroying me internally and externally. And it's hard, because you think other people can eat this rubbish and they have wonderful skin, but you aren't them. Everyone is different, and if this is the way that I detox and it comes out of my skin, then I have to, you know, consider it. Aside from those 3 points, what else have I noticed during this 30 days. So firstly, I'm not exhausted. My energy levels are like here when before they were maybe like here. I've lost 7 pounds, which is half a stone. Like, what? I didn't have that weight to lose to start with. And what's mind-boggling is I'm still eating so many fats. I'm eating, well, good fats, avocados, nuts, seeds, all that sort of stuff. And I'm not, sometimes I'm feeling hungry, but I'm not like starving myself. So it kind of says to me that it was fat that is literally just gone. And when you're eating sugar, you build up kind of like a little fat deposit wherever it is in your body, and it's really difficult to shift that if you continue eating those things, because I can see it's literally gone off my abs, because my abs are more defined than ever. So I'm quite happy it's gone from there. So yeah, obviously that's given me a little boost, but I definitely don't want to lose any more weight. If anything, I'd like to gain a bit, but because of my stomach issues and how much I consume, I probably never will put a lot more weight on, and I'm fine with that. Another thing is I've really changed the way that I eat. I think it's called intuitive eating, but what I was doing before is, because I always used to have a dessert in the evenings, I would have my main meal and then dessert straight after, even if I was full. And after reading more research about insulin spikes throughout the day, you get huge insulin spikes like this, which what's the word? So your insulin goes up, you develop more hormones, and so on, so on. So now what I've done is I never eat until I'm like so full. I eat so I'm not hungry, and then I eat consistently throughout the day. So I'm probably eating something like every 2 hours, but it works so well for me. I think that also plays upon how my stomach feels, and also it's just a better way to eat. Like, I don't actually like that really sick full feeling. So no, that's really good. So yeah, those are the main things that I've learned from this 30 days, and it truly has been an amazing experience and something that I'm so glad that I've done. Now that I'm a little bit older, I realise how important my health is, and I don't want to have diabetes in 10 or 20 years time. I want to live a healthiest life as possible, and if it means I can't have cake very often, that's fine by me, because I'd rather feel well than have a piece of cake and feel ill an hour later. Like, I don't want to be like that anymore, and it isn't nice. So my only limitations this month, my food shop is so much more expensive. You just cannot believe how cheap sugary rubbish is compared to good, wholesome, fresh vegetables, meat, fish, etc. However, I am fine with that because I'm spending less as a whole on like going out and eating meals. So it's no drawback really, and I'd rather spend more money on good food. My second thing is I barely went out in January. I was so worried about the food in the restaurants and everything like that. I didn't go on any day trips because, again, I was worried. And yeah, there is a lot of limitations. And if I have like a business meeting, everyone has tea, and it's like, but I'm only having green tea and water. I think it's also the misconception that people might have about me doing this diet. When I call it a diet, it isn't really a diet. I'm not here to lose weight. A diet is what I eat, and it's become more of a lifestyle choice for me. I haven't done it to lose weight. I didn't want to lose weight, and yes, I am slim already, but I have underlying health conditions I've had in the past that I'm doing it for. And I don't care what people think, because I've actively made this decision to lead a better and healthier life for myself. I'm not doing it for other people. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. And also, it is drastic. This diet is not for everyone, and you should consult a doctor if you're not sure about whether you should do something like this. I have done so much research about doing this for myself, and like I said, it's trial and error. I'm still learning like new things to cook. I'm finding food so much more flavoursome. I'm really enjoying eating stuff that is fueling me and helping my performance in the day. But it's not easy, and but if you get through that first month, you can literally continue and continue, because it's just breaking old habits that are the hardest thing. I think you need the willpower and dedication. If you have an end goal, whether that's losing weight, to improve your skin, or any sort of thing, if you visualize that end goal, constantly, then it will keep you going, because you do need dedication to do something like this. But I just wanted to round up this video and say that I hope you found it really interesting and insightful. Maybe you're thinking of doing something similar, or you just wondered, does it really make your skin better? And the answer is it probably will, but it takes time. If you're watching other people's videos, they're saying their skin is perfect after 2 weeks, it's probably because they only had one spot before. I had serious acne, which isn't fully gone yet, so I would just say 1 month is not going to be enough if you want really quick results like that. And just be prepared. I think preparation was the main thing for me this month. Planning ahead for meals, writing shopping lists, researching ideas, and making sure I had snacks everywhere with me so I wasn't tempted to find other things or let the hunger set in. If you have any other questions, or you feel like any other videos would be really helpful for the process, then leave a comment below and I will get back to you. And hopefully I will see you in a video next month all about my skin, because I'd really like to sit here and share with you how I cleared up my hormonal acne, whether that is from my diet or something else. But I'm still convinced diet plays a major role in how your skin looks. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!